You're still watching this morning's breakfast show here on News Central. It's time now for News Now on News Central. I'm Joe Hanson. Let's take a look at the top stories for this hour. Deal between independent marketers and Dangote raises hopes for lower petrol pricing. Senator Okpebolo to be sworn in as Edo State's 5th democratically elected governor today. An opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, calls for nationwide protest over alleged election rigging. We have details of the story and more. Do stay with us. Let's begin by telling you that the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has finalized a deal with Dangote Petroleum Refinery to source petroleum products directly, aiming to offer Nigerians fuel at more affordable rates. IPMAN's national president, Abubakar Garima, announced the agreement on Monday at a press briefing in Abuja following discussions with the association's National Working Committee. Garima confirmed that the refinery will supply products like premium motor spirit PMS, automotive gas oil AGO, and dual-purpose kerosene DPK directly to IPMAN depots and retail outlets, ensuring continuous and widespread availability across the country. Highlighting the benefits of the partnership, Garima encouraged IPMAN members to support the refinery, noting the advantages of backward integration and its positive impact on Nigeria's foreign exchange. He expressed optimism that the collaboration with Dangote would result in reduced pricing for consumers. To give context to this, I'm joined by Publicity Secretary IPMAN, Ukadike Chinedu. Thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, so what are the immediate benefits Nigerians can expect from IPMAN's direct fuel lifting from Dangote Refinery, especially concerning fuel availability and price instability? And I would recall that just a few weeks ago, there seemed to have been differences on whether IPMAN would actually work closely with Dangote Refinery. What changed?
Well, thank you for this giving me this opportunity to be able to thank well-meaning Nigerians who have intervened in this whole process. It is very pertinent at this point that we have to enumerate what we have been able to dismantle in the distribution chain of the oil and gas industry. Number one is the middleman syndrome, which has eaten deep into the oil and gas industry, and which has also been encouraging profiteering and racketeering in the distribution chain. We, the independent petroleum marketers, were designed to be able to break the buck from the main source, which are the distributors or the manufacturers. And like I said earlier on, that we are strategically located in the nooks and crannies of this country and have the capacity to distribute petroleum products nationwide, even in the hinterland. There is nowhere you can go in this country without seeing the presence of independent marketer after 2 kilometers. And we have the best facilities in terms of filling stations in the country. The coming of Dangote, we welcomed it, we appreciated it. Thank God that the issue of importing of petroleum products is gone. And that we, independent marketers, should key in into the mainstream of this distribution chain so that we will cut off unnecessary embargo of distribution. Immediately this deregulation was announced by Mr. President. In our own self, we guide ourselves. We put crisis behind us. We acquired some depot because we know the challenges of this deregulation. And we packaged ourselves to be able to unite and be able to take petroleum products. Because when we are bonded into the NNPC program, NNPC was importing these petroleum products, and we are giving it to us at their own will and pace in their portal. When we pay money into their NNPC portal, the money we spend months, over 1,500 billion will be there in months. We cannot be able to access these products, except when they like, they will pick some few people and give. We become unnecessarily dependent. Because even trying to import, some of our members who tried to import, met Waterloo, they couldn't continue because of the rigorous and the pronunciation of the foreign currency in this country.
Okay.
So we were all bounded and tied into this NNPCL portal. And mind you that NNPCL is a competitor in the industry. They own filling stations too. When they say 800 and when they say 999 naira for 98 naira for us, in their filling stations they are selling 889. So how do we compete? It becomes now placing the horse before the cart.
Okay, Mr.
We cannot be able to do turnover because our business is not about turnover.
Mr.
Now, we started trying to Nigeria, we met the director of TSS who also intervened and assure us that Dangote is going to deal with us in the marketers directly.
Okay, Mr. Okarike.
And today,
Mr. Okarike, while this sounds...
that is where we are now.
While this sounds like a jolly good news, can you shed more light on the cost? Would this impact positively on the cost of premium motorsports? Are we going to see a decline, or we're still going to see the same price range that we are currently buying for?
I have stated it clearly in this studio that there will be serious decline in premium motor spirits in all our filling stations. Instead of people market commuters queuing like mosquito coil in NNPC filling station, independent marketers will provide the lower price. We are talking about pricing here. If they sell to us the way they sell to NNPC, like what we have achieved now in this Dangote deal, we are going to sell lower than NNPC. And I want to tell you that all this issue of queues and the politic distribution of petroleum products will be a of the task. The issue of 500 million liters in Dangote tank will be from onwards will be a thing of the past. And there will be serious competition. Both MOMA members, DAPMAN members, IPMAN members will be at the same line. The whistle will be blown, everybody will take off. And I want to tell you, we are healthy and hearty and very, very strong to compete in this industry. We have all it takes. We have the money, we have the tank farm, we have the personalities, and we have the distribution channel. So from now onwards, once our papers have been put in place, because the meeting just held last week, and we are now trying to do the documentation. And the Dangote have found to us that even if we want to start moving today, that is going to give us products.
So, Ms. Okarike,
it's going to support us both financially and logistically. So that is one of our indigenous games. It's a very big feat for independent marketers. And we are very, very happy. If you come to our CWC meeting yesterday, when Mr. President was announcing this open, everybody was happy. Both in those from the north, from the west, from the south, everybody. There was jubilation in the hall. That at last we can no longer top-tier marketers who will wait until they break the board and they will not say to their uncle, or their uncle will say to their wife will say to their children, the children will not say to independent marketers. And we'll be selling 1,200, 1,300. I want to bet you once we start, I don't think there's any independent marketer that will sell more than 1,000.
Mr. Okarike, I like the fact that you've put a figure to it that no independent petroleum marketer will sell maybe beyond 1,000, because currently now people are buying fuel for 1,200, 1,250, and so on. So you've also talked about the bureaucracy, the bottlenecks, which has also impacted on IPMAN's ability to sell fuel at the proper pricing. But can I get a response to my next question, which simply is, are you saying now there will be no more importation of fuel? It has ended. Can we say that?
Well, we are comfortable with this. We are very, very comfortable with this arrangement with Dangote. It is very, very insane for somebody to say he's going to import when you have a manufacturer in your house who is willing to give to you and even give to you on credit. So what are we going to import for? With this arrangement now, once NNDPR has finished our documentation, we'll continue. Although we also have our import license and keep it in our pocket in case if there's any problem in terms of shortfall. But I believe the man has promised us that there will be no shortfall, that he will produce even more than the ones Nigeria will consume and have more to export. So we must support our own. It's an indigenous company. And we, the independent marketers, we're indigenous marketers. We're not members who are representatives of the IOCs in this country. Well, some of them, not all.
All right.
So we must support our own.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kadike, for speaking with us, and we do appreciate your time. Let's move on now to our next story. The Nigerian Labour Congress says it is not going back on its decision to embark on a nationwide strike if all the state governors do not commence the implementation of the new minimum wage. The head of information and publicity of the Congress, Benson Ukpa, made this known to News Central in an exclusive interview. Ukpa says that some governors have refused to implement the wage increase, treating the issue with levity to the detriment of workers.
It is important to note that the conditions of living of workers are degenerating by the hour. And what reason do these governors have for not doing anything up to now? If it is not contempt, power drunkenness, and arrogance. So I want to tell you, I want to reassure you here that if by the end of this month, which is 30th day of November 2024, the process is not perfected, on the 1st of December, there will be action in those states. Yeah, what I mean by process is the conversation. In fact, what I mean by perfection of the process is the holding of that conversation, the reaching of a consensus on the issues of what to pay, but take never below the federal threshold could be higher. Like we have seen the situation of Lagos paying higher, Akwa Ibom paying higher, KB paying higher, and others paying higher. So it's up to the states, or it is up to the affected states to do the needful. And they know what their responsibility is. We have heard some of them.
Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has dismissed claims that minors were detained during the recent End Bad Governance protest. Egbetokun clarified that those arrested were individuals involved in arson, property destruction, and looting rather than peaceful protesters or minors. Speaking at a workshop on professionalism in criminal investigation at the Police Resource Center in Abuja, Egbetokun thanked President Bola Tinubu for ordering the release of any individuals wrongly detained. Additionally, the IGP addressed reports of police officers escorting 100 foreigners, including Chinese and Malaysian nationals, detained for alleged cybercrimes in Abuja. He confirmed these officers were not officially deployed for that duty and reiterated that no minors were held simply for protesting.
To use this opportunity to correct an impression. The impression that those minors were arrested for participating in the End Bad Governance protest. That is a wrong narrative. It is not true. The police did not arrest anybody who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. We arrested criminals who took advantage of the protest to cause destruction to public infrastructure, to destroy private businesses, to commit arson. Those one cannot be regarded as protesters. The police did not arrest any protester Even television stations showed where police gave escorts to protesters. We protected the protesters, but we arrested the criminals. So it's a wrong narrative. It is mischievous.
Coming up next, security experts urge collaboration with neighbors to dismantle Lakurawa. Stay with us for that story and more after the break. Welcome back. Security experts are urging the Nigerian federal government to join forces with neighboring countries, including the Benin Republic, Chad, and Niger, to dismantle the Lakurawa terrorist group threatening Nigeria's security. Retired Brigadier General Sani Usman, speaking to Leadership newspaper, emphasized the importance of a proactive, multidimensional approach to countering the new terror group in the northwest and avoiding past mistakes that allowed Boko Haram to gain ground in the northeast. General Usman also stressed the need for improved intelligence gathering and sharing among security agencies to quickly identify and intercept emerging threats. He called for heightened cooperation to prevent the Lakurawa sect from gaining strength and destabilizing the region. The Defense Headquarters last week alerted the nation on the presence of a new terror group in the northwest states, Kebbi and Sokoto. At the weekend, its fighters have reportedly killed 15 persons in Kebbi, in additional 2 sacking police formations in areas it operates. To discuss this, we're joined by Editor-Chief, Security Digest. He joins me here this very morning. Thank you so much for being here this morning, Mr. Chidi Omeje.
Thank you for having me, and good morning.
All right, so good morning. How will the presence of the Lakurawas in the northwest region, currently as we speak, affect regional security, considering its links to ISIS in the Sahel?
First of all, we have to understand that the entrance of these guys into the fray means an additional layer of insecurity, in the country. So it calls for concern. We need to take a closer look at the drivers of these incidents. This particular Lakurawa, the actual name is Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, IGSIS, or Islamic State in Sahel. So Lakurawa is just a local acronym, a local moniker for them, but they are actually a part and parcel of the global terror network that are amassed in the Sahel region, owing to the geopolitics in that particular area. Of course, you know that the political instability in Mali, in Niger Republic, up to Burkina Faso, have created a fertile ground for all manner of terrorists, to operate there. And given the fact that our country, has these almost about 1,400 kilometers of borderline between Nigeria and Niger, that actually characterized by deserts, mountainous areas, and forests. And these borders are totally unmanned, and making it possible for them to all those terrorists amassing in Sahel region to have easy access to Nigeria, which is more stabilized region for them. So they come in here to steal things, to stock their arms, stock their logistics support, and then ship them back to the epicenter of their terrorism. So Nigeria has become some kind of ground for them to prepare well. So, but another thing again is that we should not be seeing them as a new terror group. They are not actually a new terror group. They've been here for the past 6 years. They are just building their cells, and this what we should be talking about is that there's a new momentum they have created, which is what our security agencies are now seen as having a new terror group. They have always been here. The issue is that they have more or less kickstarted their real intent as a terror group. So it's a big issue for Nigeria now, because you now have another entrance of formidable terror groups that have global network. So it calls for concern, really.
But let's also look at the measures. What measures can be taken now to strengthen joint border security operations along the Niger-Chad borders to actually prevent further infiltration?
Well, many measures can actually be adopted. First on the list should be technology. We must, embrace technology at this point in time, because, like I pointed out to you, you have a very massive border areas. The border in Nigeria and what they call the Niger Republic, and most of these areas are totally unmanned. So we need to, do more of what we call community-based intelligence gathering. Where you integrate the community people into your efforts, because they are the ones on ground, they are the ones who know and see when these things are happening. They should be able to, see something and tell you something. But that's probably on the long run. But currently, as it is now, the government has no option than to, be intentional about dealing with that situation. Because if you allow it to fester, if you allow them to gain ground, get foothold, it's going to pose a formidable threat to our sovereignty, because you have a formidable terror network in that Sahara region having free access to our country, and so the big issue, the big driver of this security is actually the unmanned borders between Nigeria and Niger Republic up to Benin Republic. So we need to find something to do about it. This is something that we need to be very critical about. It's not something to play around with, because the moment you allow time, just like we did in Boko Haram, you see them building, much more networks, having footholds, and then conscripting the locals. Currently, we don't have much of our Nigerian locals in that particular group. But if you allow time, they'll be able to conscript them. We read somewhere that they're actually paying people up to 1 million naira to get it on their phone. So given the level of poverty in the country, a lot of people will find that very attractive. And the moment they are able to infiltrate our locals and are able to conscript our locals, then the game has changed, and it will be a bigger problem for the country.
Okay, you did talk about the locals, but let's even ask concerning the locals now. What role do you think local communities play in providing information on the wanted Lakurawa's members? We also hear that they're giving over 1 million naira to members of communities to indeed join the clan. And how do you think the military can ensure effective collaboration as we speak now?
You see, I talked about what we call community-based intelligence gathering. Community-based intelligence gathering is very key at this moment. What it means is to integrate the communities into your security architecture, make them a key partner in their efforts. Now, how do I mean? It means that you have to work with not just the community members, but essentially the community leaders and the youth and all the people who are able to see things happening. And then we're able to give you the needed information that will translate to actionable intelligence. So it is important that we create a robust community-based intelligence gathering effort to be sure that people are part of the whole effort. I've told you that the issue we have in this particular incident is the issue of unmanned border. That create room for terror networks to seep into our country. So we should be able to those countries and those communities in the fringes should be able to be factored in, and then they will be part of it. So I advocate for community-based intelligence gathering as a model that will deal with this particular situation. This is not a time for to dilly-dally. It's called for that time. It's material in this issue, because the moment you allow them to have a foothold in our communities, then it will be very, very difficult to counter them.
We also have heard other people or persons or other experts highlight the fact that some of these, like the Lakurawas and the likes, have sponsors from different parts of the world globally. Of course, they have an affiliation, just as they mentioned that they're affiliated to ISIS and the likes. But do you also share a similar thought, especially looking at the security aspect, that there could also be any form of collaboration that they have, which has emboldened them to carry out these actions? They have collaborations even from within, internally. Do you think they also may have that, perhaps, which has emboldened them to carry out these acts of insurgency?
There's a huge possibility for what you just said. It's very possible. Don't forget, I mentioned to you that these people didn't just enter this month. They've been here since 2016, 2017. They've been in that axis, but they came in surreptitiously, and they were not very violent when they came in. In fact, they were even collaborating with the communities to fight bandits. So so they had a long-term plan. So now they will have to take a football. As we're talking now, I won't be surprised if they have already developed some level of synergy, with some community members. So it becomes a problem. So, but don't forget also that we have a lot of conflict merchants in this country who will definitely want to, do business with these people. The moment money exchange hands, and these guys have a lot of war chest because they have these are offshoot, or rather, they have link with global terror network, the Al Qaeda, the Al-Shabaab, and then of course the Islamic State terror networks. So they have this border network, meaning that they have the great war chest, they have enough money to play around with, and in a country like ours where poverty have been weaponized, it will be quite easy to have people, conflict merchants, who will find their activities very, very, very attractive, and then they become very important, become very key to what they are doing. So it's a possibility. So I agree with you.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us, Mr. Chidi Omeje, Editor-in-Chief for Security Digest. Thanks for your time. Let's move on now to our next. All right. Let's move on now to our next story, to political matters. This time, Senator Monday Okpebolo, the All Progressives Congress candidate in Edo State's 2024 gubernatorial election, is set to be sworn in today as the state's 5th democratically elected governor. This actually marks a shift in leadership for Edo State, previously governed by the opposition People's Democratic Party, after Okpebolo defeated PDP candidate Asu Ighodalo in the election. As preparations for the inauguration are underway, the APC Transition Committee in Edo State has recommended an investigation into over 410 billion naira in local and foreign debt reportedly owed by the state. The committee submitted its findings to the governor elected Monday, calling for transparency and accountability in addressing the state's financial obligations. Well, joining me now is our man who's on ground, our correspondent, Austin Azu. Austin, good morning to you. And could you quickly bring us up to speed on what preparations and plans are looking like for the grand inauguration there in Edo State?
Joe, of course, behind me and around me you can see the ambience already depicting that of the mood for the day. Of course, the 5th elected governor of Edo State will be sworn in today, and different people from all walks of life have started coming into this Sam Egbumodia Stadium for the inauguration. We have some people to talk to us about how they feel about this day they have been anticipating. Okay, please tell us your name and tell us what's the mood like to you.
Well, my name is High Chief Moscow Elimi Moyaki, aka Don Kwano, aka Dr. Don Kwano. It's a pleasure to see me here today because this government that comes to Edo State, I believe, will be a credible government to the Edo State people and entire Nigeria. And I wish the best to the governor to do more. And it should not segregate and not compromise. Let him do his will to the people. But I believe if we do to the will to the people, it may have the achievement of the people. God bless Edo State and God bless Nigeria. Thank you. My name is High Chief Dr. Moscow Moyaki, aka Don Kwano. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Don Kwano. All right, we'll have another respondent to tell us. Cheros, tell us more. What are we expecting from this government?
Yeah, we are expecting quite a lot. To whom much is given, they say much is expected. People has come out in mass for change the narratives. So the victory was a sound one, and we, the Edolites, know what has been happening for the past 8 years, and we expect his coming is to hit the ground running on the area of mostly on infrastructure, turning the state around for good. A lot of things have really gone wrong, so wrong in the state that needs to be corrected. So my advice to the incoming administration is not to go so much, throw attention to dragging issues, dragging the past administration, is to focus on the promise he has made to Edo people. And that is what matters at this critical time.
All right, last on my list, I have another young man. Please tell us, what are the youth expecting from this new administration that is coming on board in Edo State?
Yeah, as you know, my name is Oseni Jibri, Chairman CEO, Perfect Mercy Logistics Limited. We, the youth, are much anticipating for a better governance in Edo State. For the past 8 years, we have seen infrastructural decay, and we believe that this new administration, the governor-elect, Mode Okpewolo, is a youth, and he knows the needs and the aspirations of the youth. He's a lover of education, and I believe he's going to invest in education and invest in the youth to make us so much productive and move the state forward. My name is Oseni Jibri. Yeah, welcome.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jubrin. Mr. Joe, of course, you have heard it from some of these respondents who bear their minds on their expectations from the new administration here in Edo. Edo State, of course, you know, has some peculiar challenges ranging from insecurity, deficit infrastructure, and other areas of concern that the people of the area are looking forward to see that this new administration will be able to tackle. Of course, we are expecting who and who in Nigeria to be present in this inauguration, and around and outside its vicinity, we have the heavily armed security personnel marching guard to ensure that their visitors who are coming into this ceremony have a very hitch-free event. We have the presence of the army, the police, the DSS, and who are giving security in this event.
Okay, Austin, I can see the motorcade right there, maybe just a piece of it. Could you quickly share with us, we've talked about the celebrations, the lights, camera actions, and so on, like we've seen. But can you give us an update as regards the outgoing governor? His whereabouts? Is he in town? Because we do hear that he's nowhere to be found. And what is the current political party coming in? That's the APC. What are they saying as regards this celebration and what is to be done next, especially looking at the fact that the state is owing a lot of money?
Yeah. Yes, of course, events such as this, it's expected that the outgoing administration should be present to do the needful by handing over to the incoming administration, which is properly done in a way that everybody will definitely witness it. But however, we have not seen that of the atmosphere to depict the presence of the outgoing administration being present in this event. And of course, from feelers we got earlier on, and we have been reliably informed that the outgoing governor seems not to be around town, so probably maybe he might send a representative, or probably, I don't know how he's going to do it, but obviously it seems the outgoing administration are not fully being involved in this transition process, because earlier yesterday when we came here, we didn't see much of them on ground to, give us some directive. The only people we saw yesterday were that of the APC Transition Committee. Obviously, we are still looking forward to see how the game are likely going to end in terms of the exchange of the baton, if the governor will be present himself, or he will send a representative, or probably he will just send the PS to do the proper handing over.
All right. Thank you so much, Austin Azu, for the updates. We'll get back to you, most importantly, throughout the course of today as the celebration and inauguration continues. Thanks for your time. Let's move on now to our next story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reiterated his administration's dedication to promoting dialogue, reconciliation, and healing across Nigeria's diverse ethnic communities. In a message marking the 2024 Ogoni Matthias Remembrance Day on Monday, President Tinubu expressed solidarity with the National Youth Council of Ogoni people and all Ogoni citizens in honoring those who sacrificed their lives for the Ogoni cause. The president emphasized his commitment to addressing long-standing grievances and working towards a united and prosperous future for all Nigerians. He added that this vision would be achieved through constructive engagement and a foundation of mutual respect. Coming up next here on News Now, opposition leader Mondlane urges supporters to demonstrate across Mozambique. We'll tell you all about this story after the break. Welcome back. In Mozambique, opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has called for widespread protests this week, challenging the recent election results won by the ruling Frelimo party, which has held power since the country's independence in 1975. Mondlane, who received 20% of the October 9 vote according to official counts, alleges the election was rigged. He is urging supporters to demonstrate across the country, including in the capital Maputo, the provincial capitals, border areas, and major parts. Mondlane has also called on truck drivers to hold shipments from South Africa to Maputo port. President Filipe Nyusi, who is set to conclude his second term in January, is expected to transfer power to Frelimo's elected candidate, Daniel Chapo. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch reports that protests related to the disputed election results have already led to 30 fatalities. New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has formally apologized to victims of abuse in the country following an inquiry into one of the country's biggest abuse scandals. The historic apology was delivered in Parliament after findings from a report confirmed that over 200,000 children and vulnerable adults experienced abuse while under the care of state and faith-based institutions between 1950 and 2019. The inquiry, which took about 6 years to conclude and included interviews with more than 2,300 survivors of abuse in care institutions, documented a wide range of abuses including rape of children, forcefully giving up children for adoption, use of seizure-inducing electroconvulsive therapy, and forced labor. The government has promised to reform the care system. Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says that it will commence the tracking of government's expenditures and disbursements in an effort to combat the growing menace of financial crimes in the country. The chairman of the commission made this known to lawmakers following a visit by the members of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes to the commission's headquarters in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. News Central's Joshua Imarayi has details in this report.
It was an oversight visit by Nigeria's Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes to the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja. The chairman of the EFCC, who welcomed the lawmakers, says that the commission is actively pursuing its mandate to fight corruption. He says that with the granting of access of the commission to the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, also known as IPPIS, the commission is now well positioned to monitor government disbursement in real time, ensuring transparency and proper utilization of public funds.
For you to recover every 10 naira stolen, you spend between 4 and 5 naira. But to prevent 10 naira from being stolen, you probably spend less than 1 naira. So, which is more, impactful way of fighting corruption. So, I believe in prevention, and that was what led to my establishing a new directorate upon my assumption of office called Fraud Risk Assessment and Control. So we have a relationship with the Accountant General's office now. We have been given access to GiveMe's. We want to monitor releases live and where the money goes.
The chairman of the EFCC called for the lawmakers' support in fighting graft by appropriately funding his budget so that he can acquire a software that will help monitor and investigate virtual currency trading in the country.
There's a software I'm trying to procure just to investigate cryptocurrency and this the virtual currency trading and all of that, which is a major problem to us. The least we receive is 3.4 billion just for just one software. And I can tell you several billions of dollars we are losing through the this unlicensed cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria. Now we are meeting with SEC and CBN. We have come up with regulations. So we need to prepare for us to monitor them, their tax payment, the revenue that is supposed to come to government. If we do our work very well, we won't realize less than $5 billion every year.
At the end of the engagement, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes shared his views on the visit to the commission.
Like custom do, they are entitled to a percentage of whatever they get for the year. And if you do it to EFCC, they'll be able to work very well. Out of 3,600 and something cases they have had, they have 2,600 and something convictions. They recovered over 200 billion naira, over 190 something thousand or $96,000. They have done a lot just within 1 year. I commend them. The committee is impressed with them.
The chairman of the EFCC also announced that the commission has launched a project to train 500 convicted internet fraudsters in cybersecurity as a means of rehabilitation, giving them an alternative to cybercrime. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
In sports, Super Eagles players and coaching staff have begun arriving at their camp in Abidjan for the crucial AFCON qualifier against Benin Republic. As of now, at least 8 players have made their way to the training base ahead of Thursday's important match. The Nigerian Football Federation NFF Communications Department confirmed that the following players are in camp: Amas Obasogie, Raphael Onyedika, Frank Onyeka, Moses Simon, Bruno Oyemiechi, Gabriel Osho, Samuel Chikweze, and Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi, Sevilla's Kelechi Iheanacho, and goalkeeper Maduka Okoye were the latest players to join the squad, arriving in camp in the early hours of today. Interim coach Augustine Guivon, who recently returned from medical leave in Belgium, arrived in Abidjan on Sunday to oversee preparations. By Monday morning, he was joined by 2 other early arrivals. The rest of the squad is expected to complete their arrivals by midday, with training sessions set to begin on Tuesday. And that's all the news we have for you this hour. But before we go, a quick look at some of the major stories. The deal between independent marketers and Dangote raises hopes for lower petrol pricing. Senator Pebolo to be sworn in as Edo State's 5th democratically elected governor today. An opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, calls for nationwide protest over alleged election rigging. You can always watch News Central Television on DSTV Channel 422, Star Times Channel 274, Avo TV, and you can always stream live on YouTube and on Facebook. Join the ladies at 10 a.m. for Jasiri and stay here for more programs. I'm Joe Hanson. Good morning.